Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So imagine this scenario that in the exam, the question asks for 3 parameters in the end as a final answer, right? One is your name. This is of course just an illustration, right? Because if we are going to technical, then someone would not understand if that is not their subject of study, right? So let's imagine the final answer is one is the name, second is the country of origin, third is the age, right? And then as a student, I write like this. Now that is what I put as my final answer in the end, right? So what would you comment on that? There are several things that is not logical or doesn't make sense there, right? What do you mean by the two first statement there? What does that mean? And interestingly, right? So when as a lecturer, when I receive something like this in the paper, right? Of course, it's more on a number, engineering numbers, etc. But this is illustration of what happened. Their response is always typical, similar, right? But sir, isn't that the correct answer? Isn't that the correct answer? What does that mean? It means that if you look at this, right? Doesn't the question ask for 3 things? My name, yeah, okay. So this is my name. And my country of origin, this is my country of origin, okay, and your age, this is my age, for example, right? But that's the thing, this statement, what, okay, several things that I can comment. One, okay, you are here on the left here, you are specifying one thing, but suddenly this one thing here, right, this one thing over here is equal to 3 different things. That is not logical to begin with, right? What does that even mean, right? When we say, okay, let's say they write this, right? For example, okay, equal to this one plus this one. Let's say they write like this, and then they also make the statement, this one equal to square root of b squared plus 4 squared equal to 5, right, for example. And then they say this is the answer, this is the answer, right? Now several things there. Of course, this is the example that I will show is basically on statics, right? So several things that I would ask in relation to what the example in the above is about, right? So you are talking about on the left here, this should be the same, but this and this is different in nature, right? One is a vector, one is a scalar, a magnitude. So so which one is it? This one or this one? Which one is scalar, which one is vector? It cannot be the same, right? So that's example, but they will always say, but say the answer is correct, this answer is correct, why are you bothering about this, right? It's just similarly if you look above here, right? So my age is 23, I'm from Malaysia, and my name is Saifuddin. So what do you mean? What should, meaning why do you cut my mark? Okay, that's mostly the complaint, right? Because if they get full mark, they wouldn't bother, right? But normally they will get like half of mark here if I'm generous, and then suddenly complain, why I lose a mark when my answer is correct. From my perspective, what do you even mean when you say your answer is correct, right? I always puzzled, to be honest, when they say that. When I see something like this and they say my answer is correct, what does that mean? So I assume after many years, I assume the philosophy of learning for them, including learning engineering, is just know how to calculate a number, whatever the number means, whatever it is, calculate the number and get the correct number in the end. That's only what matters, right? What I put on paper, whether people can understand or not, whether it means one thing or another, I don't care. The correct answer means the number match whatever you want, right? So if that is the case, that's a problem for me, right? The whole philosophy is wrong, because when you make a statement, right, like this, right? When you make a statement, this is a statement, this is a statement, this is a statement, then it should make sense. It should make sense, right? What do you mean by H is Saifuddin? No, that's this. They will say, okay, I will just. No, sir. This. Can you see this? Cannot you see this? This is my name. So this is my name. Why do you ask for my age? But you write here. No, sir. You just see here. See here. This is Saifuddin, my name. So can you not understand? I always get frustrated when the response is always like that. Right? It's like just focus on the number. Just focus and you know the answer scheme. So the number match, that's all that matter. What I write as a statement, as illogical as it may, I deserve full mark. But I do not know about other discipline, but as engineering lecturer, in terms of engineering space, the whole idea like that is so puzzling to me, right? It's what? Right, so are you thinking when you work, that's how the world work, the engineering world work? When you say, okay, let's see, we'll use a different color, right? When you give a report, technical report, engineering report to one another, whatever, in the organization, etc., when they receive something like this, right, what you write, without all the rate, etc., right? Does it function like that? Okay, so whatever it is written, we have to decipher. When they say that this is Saifuddin, so it must mean the name. Yes, it must mean the name. What is written here? No problem. We don't care, right? Doesn't whatever, right? Here, okay. The second one, Malaysia. I think that is what he is saying. The country that will win the next World Cup. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then this 23, the most perfect thing about this is his what he get in his final exam in statics. Yes, correct. Right? Is it like that? Is it like you actually have to decipher and make a guess, and because I know the answer scheme, then he must mean that. He must mean the name. Yeah, even though he say age here, but he means name, right? So I have to give as if he write here name, because obviously on the right here is name, right? So I'm not sure if that is the world that most students live in, because for example in this case on bottom here, right, if I'm showing on the bottom here, right, oops, what is so bad here, right, on the bottom here, when I show the student, and normally they will get wrong here, right, and they say what is wrong there, right? So they could not, it is interesting to me that they could not even understand the concept that, okay, vector and scalar is different. Do you understand? Yes. So you have to describe it or use a different way to describe it, because it's two different things. Why? What do you mean why? It is two different things. So that's why you either it is arrow, etc., right? So you have learned that already, right? So that is so interesting that I think I have found repetitively. And of course, if you are my student watching this, you know how much I penalize things like this, right? In your quiz you will see that again and again. Normally it's most students will come and say, why do you deduct mark so much? And this is in my honest answer. I never deduct mark. I never deduct any mark. For example, if you have this kind of answer, right? Because I do not start from full mark and then I deduct. That's not my philosophy. You start on a blank, clean sheet, and then I will give marks where you deserve marks, right? So, okay, sorry. In this case, what is wrong is not this is correct if this is mean magnitude, right? But this one you have to have an arrow. Without an arrow, what you mean is magnitude force equal to 3i plus 4j plus 0k. That statement is wrong, right? Magnitude of force equal to vector, right? So, okay, that is wrong. Sometimes I'm being generous, I give you 0.5 marks. It's not a deduction because I deduct from 1 to 0.5. No, I'm giving a charity marks. So you should do sujud syukur or something, right? That's my philosophy. I never deduct marks. So when students ask why do you deduct mark, I say, where did I ever deduct mark? I do deduct mark for late submission. Yes, correct. Or I do not know. Sometimes some lecturer deduct mark if the student write the name of the lecturer wrong or something. But for this case, no, I didn't deduct mark. I find where you deserve marks, I give them. When you do not deserve any mark, sometimes I give half of the marks still. But the student will come complaining as if I deduct any marks. So that is quite interesting. Alright, so this is something that I just want to throw out if anyone watching this, especially my student. But my student, I assume you know already this about me, but coincidentally, when we have a lot of sections taking statistics, so I also mark for other sections, so they might notice this kind of things, right? Yeah. Anyway, so another thing, because I purposely write something here to see if you see something wrong here, right? For example, here in this case, this is actually wrong because the square root only cover this 3, right? It should cover until 4, right? So that's among the thing that also I see. Wait, in terms of the meaning, right? So when you calculate the square root only cover 3, right? And then plus 4 squared, it will not give 5, it will give something else. It will give 7, right? No, not 7. 4 squared is 16, 17, 18, 19, is it? Right. So those are when I say it should be a meaningful statement in terms of equation, etc. It should be. So another thing. Okay. Just to close this off, several things that really I just want to emphasize. One is you have to really differentiate this and this. For example, it is two different creatures, right? Although it refers to the same force, but one is in the form of a scalar, one is in the form of a vector, right? One it is human, and when it become a werewolf or something, it's two different creatures at that particular moment, right? Next, some students do something like this: summation of x. What does that even mean? Is that meaningful? What does it mean? I can guess what the student want to say. They add up all the x component of forces. I mean, you add up summation of forces in x component. But this doesn't mean that, right? If you write something like this, summation of force in x, then that makes sense because you are adding forces in x component. So everything have a meaning, and the way we describe it means something. It's not just random. You just write something as long as you understand, and regardless of any other people understand or not, just write something. It's not like that. It's so hopefully if you do not know why something is written in a certain way, please ask, because there's a reason. Now I still remember in school I already learned this from the teacher in the classroom, right? For example, they ask why x is written like this, why x is written like this and not like this. Why? This is way back in my school, right? In when I was, how many years is that? 13 years, 14 years of age, right? So the explanation is, this is what the teacher said in the classroom at that time, right? Is to differentiate x and multiply, right? Because when you write, the meaning should be clear, right? So, and I can, okay, even though because we, at school level, we do not, how to say, the calculation is not yet complex, so we do not appreciate this to the deeper level yet, what kind of confusion that can arise from there. But we can at least appreciate, okay, that's why we write x like that, to differentiate with multiplication, multiply, right? But so it is bizarre to me when university students cannot understand things like that, the same concepts, right? We write things differently to differentiate things, right? For example, this one, right? Summation of forces. What is this? Summation of function or something? Is that what you mean? Right, so because many students write like this, right? And they treat letters, capital letter and the small letter as if it is interchangeable. You can, either way is force, either way it's f, right? Of course that will be your grade if you do that, right? Either way it's going to be f. Na'uzubillah, hopefully you do not get that, but the meaning is different. The meaning is different, right? Like for example, M and M, the meaning is different. Which one is mass? Do you know? Right, hopefully you know, etc. Now, another thing, okay, for example, theta. Of course, yeah, there are something that is generic in nature, right? In nature, right? Theta. So you have to specify where the angle theta is. But when you have, for example, alpha, beta, and gamma, it does have a specified meaning to it. In coordinate direction angle, alpha, beta, gamma is defined already. It is from which axis. You cannot change it. It is understood as such, right? So those are the things that I hope when you learn, it's not just all these random letters and what is the philosophy that you hold on is as long as I can calculate the number that match the final answer of that answer scheme, then I get the correct answer. No, every statement in your calculation should be meaningful, should be understood by others, so that, of course, from the examiner perspective or point of view, so that I can give the marks because I know, oh, you understand what's going on, right? And you deserve the mark. If you write something that I cannot even understand, is it a fluke? Is it what? I do not know. I do not know whether you deserve a mark or not. And normally the best way for me is just, okay, never mind, let's see them again next semester to ask whether they know or not, right? So hopefully that never happens, hopefully. All right, so with that, I think that's it for this video. It's just to highlight those things. Wallahu alam. Yeah, see you next time.